One of the things that I love to do is watch flat earthers on podcasts, especially ones that are not pro-flat earth. And today I thought I'd do just that, as David Weiss and Karen B join a podcast that descends into absolute chaos. Hello all and welcome along to another video with me, Simon Dan. Thanks very much for joining me. Before we begin with today's video, I was reading earlier how a NASA astronaut shared a rare photo of a sprite formation from the ISS. And I was reading that story on Ground News, which was actually founded by a former NASA engineer called Harlan Kaur that worked on the James Webb Space Telescope. Now, Ground News combines stories and articles from thousands of outlets, local and national, in one place so readers can see the full picture of what's being reported around the world. As you can see here, Ground News shows you if there's any political leanings for each publication. And in this instance, we can see that it's mainly centre-driven and a total of 81 total news sources. For every story, you get a quick visual breakdown of the news outlet covering it, what their political bias is, how factual the source is, which entity actually owns that source, and which countries are covering the story. And Ground News is also gaining notoriety for its work. They were recently recognised by the Nobel Peace Centre for their impact on media literacy, saying that it's an excellent way to stay informed, avoid echo chambers and expand your worldview, which is exactly why we use Ground News as well. You can see every site, every story with international perspectives that are hard to find, so then you can make informed decisions where you can read, watch and share the best information available. And also Ground News is mission centric. It's not about eliminating bias but providing better transparency. And they're funded by their community, not by ads or big investors. So go to ground.news/Simon to stay fully informed on breaking news and compare media coverage. Subscribe through my link in the description to get 40% off unlimited access if you support the mission and find it as useful as I do. Thanks again to Ground News. Right, on with today's video, which comes from the Killah Priest podcast. David Weiss and Karen B are distinguished guests, among other flat earthers too. And of course they're trying to push their flat earth beliefs. Let's see what happens.
The oceans, there's actually a great proof of a flat earth in the oceans. There's something called the abyssal plains. And if you look under the greatest parts right in between the continents, there's something called the abyssal plains, and it's the longest, flattest surface that they've ever measured is under the ocean. So it's not always lumpy and full of craters and stuff.
I think it's...
Flat areas exist on the globe, that's a fact. The abyssal plains are like the ocean's version of a calm lake or large desert. They're locally flat, but the earth underneath still curves. Just as always. If you ironed out every bump and trench in the ocean floor, you'd still have a sphere, just a smooth one. Local flatness doesn't cancel out global curvature.
I think it's 70% of the ocean is abyssal plain, and it's flat for, as far as you can go. You can have two submarines on the bottom of the ocean. They send out sonar, which goes in a straight line, hits something and bounces back, and they can see each other 100 miles away. There should be a mountain over a mile tall in between them. But you'd have to believe that sonar goes over the mountain, hits the other submarine, and then comes back. That doesn't happen. That's provable nonsense. So the fact that a submarine on the bottom of the ocean can see another submarine 100 miles away proves that there is no curvature down there.
Sonar, of course, works by sending sound waves through water. But just like with line of sight, there's a limit with how far these signals can travel before the curve of the Earth blocks the path. On a globe, two submarines can't ping each other from 100 miles away, especially at seabed level, because the Earth's curvature is in the way. And sonar doesn't travel in a straight line underwater anyway. It bends because sound speed changes with temperature, depth and salinity. So this idea of submarines pinging each other in a straight line across the ocean floor is completely wrong. So not only would the curve of the Earth block the path, the physics of sound in water means that sonar waves curve anyway. Dave's claim fails on two counts, geometry and science.
Also, a boat on the surface can see another boat, can target it with a laser over 100 miles away. There should be a hump of water over a mile high in between them, but there's not.
No, you can't target a boat 100 miles away with a laser from the surface of the ocean. That distance is far beyond the curve of the Earth. And by the way, there's no magical hump of water. Boats would simply curve away from each other. Hitting a target over 100 miles away and lasering one are two very different things, Dave. Now, at this point, the podcast host starts asking some questions.
You're looking at something that's always going to level itself off, as opposed to looking at what's actually the surface of the earth itself, because that's what we're speaking on. We're not speaking on whether the earth is this or that or whatever. We're speaking on the earth itself. So if you're trying to use these telescopes to determine certain things over a body of water and talking about, well, there's no curve in the water is going to always level itself out. But you don't know if the surface of the earth, that's where the water is actually on top of, it's curved or not, do you?
This is a lovely point made here, albeit not very succinctly. The host is essentially saying if you look over water and see no curve, you're really just seeing the water's surface and not the curve of the earth beneath. So how can you know if the land underneath the water is curved or not? And of course they can't know, because they're tiny humans.
See, first
Well,
of all,
doesn't water take the shape of a container?
exactly. And
Water
second of
doesn't
all,
take the shape of the bottom of a container. It
All
levels
water needs
itself
it.
out.
It levels itself out, but it fills up the container and then it finds level.
And just like that, you've triggered 3 flurfs at once. Amazing work. Let's continue to listen in, shall we?
Okay.
The earth is curved.
the water would
Oh,
not
man.
be level if it was on a curve. What do you?
Wait. So when you're looking across that extensive plane of water where there should be miles of curvature, and you can see the land at the other side of the other side of the ocean, which is at the same level that you're at, and there now we're talking an expanse on the ball, on the earth on your ball. How come the land on the other side of the ocean is at the same level that we're at? It should be miles below me, but it's not. It's so simple. It's so simple. I don't know how people cannot see it, other than they've been programmed since they've been a child, and their inner child is like, "Don't take my ball away! Don't take my ball away, please!"
This is one of the oldest misunderstandings in flat earth circles, and one of the most debunked. The idea that if we can see distant land, then curve doesn't exist. But on a globe, we'd expect to see the tops of things, mountains and buildings, whilst the bottom remains hidden. And that's exactly what we observe. The only way to see 100% of distant land from top to bottom would be if we lived on a flat earth. But that never happens. Even over water, the curve hides things, exactly where the globe says they should be hidden. Now, the host then carries on pushing this idea that the flat earthers are looking at the wrong thing by looking at the ocean's surface, which he already said, and he's quite passionately doing it too. I do actually get what he's trying to say here. He's reminding us that sometimes appearances can be deceptive and we need to look deeper. And in science that is often true. But in this case, when it comes to the shape of the earth, the surface of the water is doing exactly what it's supposed to do, conforming to the curve of the planet. And as we know, water doesn't level out flat. It finds the level dictated by gravity, which on a globe means curving around the planet. So it turns out the ocean's surface is the right thing to look at when testing Earth's shape. Let's see what Dave says in response.
Listen, no offense, dude, but that is the dumbest I have ever heard, ever.
Like serious.
Anywhere.
Like
That is
serious.
so freaking dumb.
The irony here is quite simply off the charts, isn't it?
Oh.
They tell us that the 70% of the Earth's surface is water. So you believe that the water goes flat for 70%, and then all of a sudden the Earth bends underneath. We
Yeah, at
can
the
sit
bottom.
here.
There's
and
no such thing
I
as
can
all
look
of a
at-
sudden
I
the
can
earth
look at
bends
land.
underneath the earth
I
all
can
the
look
time.
at land
nowhere.
100. I could look
You're
at
right. It don't end nowhere.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You can dig a hole with all sorts of shapes on the bottom, fill it with water. It's flat because that's it. You can't have flat water, land, and then expect that land to finish the curve of the ball. That's ridiculous.
This is harsh from Dave because remember, he actually does think the Earth is flat. And look at Karen B in the corner laughing.
Shapes on the bottom, fill it with water. It's flat because that's it. You can't have flat water, land, and then expect that land to finish.
As if she doesn't believe in nonsense too. Behave, the lot of you.
The Earth has to curve. A round ball has to curve. The surface of the water has to curve at an even rate all the way around. Okay.
So what you just said. Now, what you just said is, I'll give you an example. Let me ask you a question. On an apple, right? On the skin of an apple, right?
Here we go.
Does the skin of the apple have moisture inside of it?
Moist?
Have moisture inside of it?
Said
What
moist?
are you talking about?
Hold
What is
on,
that?
It's trying to outdo.
Let me finish what I'm saying. The
Is
skin
it the skin of the apple that has the moisture, or is it the apple, the skin coming in contact with the moist meat of the apple? Which one is it? Do you know for sure?
Yes, I do.
Or are you just trying to be
No,
fake?
I'm not trying to be fake smart. I'm being real with you. The skin of the apple has moisture in it, correct?
I can see what he's saying, but the flat earthers are acting like it's the most ridiculous thing that they've ever heard.
So let me finish what I'm saying. So being that the skin of the apple has moisture in it, does that moisture that's on the skin of the apple fall off the surface of the apple.
It's not on the surface. It's inside the fibers.
Yeah, I knew what he meant, and I think all of you did too. Yet this flat earther somehow doesn't. Now, whilst I appreciate that the host has got his heart in the right place, he is confusing two different forces here. Moisture sticks to the surface of an apple because of surface tension, not gravity. Now, the flat earthers go in on him here, calling him all sorts of stupid, despite not correcting him on the actual science.
Come on,
I
go
just
ahead.
asked you a simple question. Does
You're
another
not
apple
that
have
stupid.
moisture
You're
in
not that
You
stupid. It's
can't be this
impossible.
stupid. You
You
can't be.
cannot be
Man,
this
you
stupid.
guys sound stupid as hell. I'm not gonna lie to you. Anytime you go sit here and tell me that you're looking at the surface of water instead of the actual surface of the earth itself, you sound dumb as hell because you already know that water always levels itself out. So I don't even know how you would use that as an argument.
Go on, matey, give it to them. At this point, one of the flat earthers leaves and it all calms down a bit. Then, after a few more minutes, another flurf pipes up.
I wanted to say one other thing too, real quick, that I wrote down. The show that I mentioned when we talked about NASA, and because I got a lot of people who asked me about it, was I talked about if you look at the names of all the NASA missions, it's literally telling you a story. And it goes, a Colombian enterprise to endeavor for the discovery of Atlantis, and the Challenger shall be destroyed.
Damn.
That's literally what all the missions were from NASA. Again, these are Masonic rituals. This is nothing real. This isn't real
Say
science.
that again.
Yeah.
Hey, dear, wait, what happened? What just happened?
So first off, these are not all NASA's missions, they're the names of space shuttles, which were not mission names. Secondly, you've got the order wrong. Enterprise came first, it was a test shuttle and never went to space. Then it's Columbia, Challenger, Discovery, Atlantis, Endeavour. You can't even get that right. Total nonsense. It really is. Well, there we go. What do we think of that one, everyone? Total carnage of a podcast, right? Dear oh dear. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. As I say, we're all done and dusted for another one. Thanks so much for watching today. It truly is appreciated. If you enjoyed this episode, please do subscribe to the channel for more of the same. There's a video released every single day. And if you really enjoyed it, a big thumbs up would be thankful too. Just enough time to once again thank Ground News for sponsoring today's video. Remember, go to ground.news/Simon, stay fully informed on breaking news and compare media coverage. Click my link in the description for 40% off unlimited access if you support the mission and find it as useful as I do. I've been Simon Dan, have yourselves a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow for Kent Hovind and ducks. Weird. See you then.